So, friends, practices of self-development, expanding consciousness through meditation. In my opinion, meditation for everyone at this very moment is like some pleasant music and some words. Yes, so with this music and words, a person lies down and drifts somewhere far away under these words, under this music. This is not meditation. Friends, this is autogenic training. Autogenic training is indeed the simplest technique of self-hypnosis. In reality, it has nothing to do with meditation. Meditation is indeed actually working with attention and consciousness. When you can use your attention and consciousness to direct it to the source of your consciousness by focusing deeply and intently with a clear and unwavering mind, that is, to the very essence and core of your inner self and being, from where you perceive this world. It is deep within you. Most often, a person looks forward from their eyes and focuses on the objects they see in front of them. If you redirect your attention to the center, inside your head, which is the focal point of your inner self, the place where your thoughts and emotions originate, seek the center inside your head and focus your mental energy there. Direct your attention there to the center of your head and remain in that state of focused attention. The thoughts and emotions that arise within you, which are the manifestations of your inner self, should also be promptly considered with careful and deliberate attention. But at the same time, you do not evaluate them, you do not touch them, you do not say for or against them, you do not work with them at all. You simply observe them. When you observe them, it is important not to cling to them, as people usually do, and not to ruminate on something inside your head, as people usually do. The mind creates a dominant thought, starts conversing with it, and emotionally expresses something. Replaces this dominant, speaks, moves here, speaks, and there's a whole dialogue. In the head, you can have 3 people talking, or 5, or even 10 people. But in reality, you are alone inside your head. And when you start meditating, you begin to distance yourself a bit from all of this, and these dialogues become, well, kind of silly. That is, you start to see that. That is, in reality, when you actually meet a person you have been thinking about, the conversation will not go as you imagined. He will not respond to you the way the dominant voice inside your head will. There is no point in having conversations inside your head. While this is unclear, it's normal. Everyone lives like this, chewing over something inside themselves. But in reality, when you start meditating, your consciousness begins to expand. It starts to expand because you are silent. You don't say anything at all. You don't try to evaluate anything. You don't try to do something, see something energetically, with chakras at all or anything. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You simply sit and focus your attention inward. Here is the mechanics of meditation. When you see your thoughts, you see the source. You see the very dominant factor within your mind. Who is actually saying this? And when you truly see it, your consciousness truly expands. Because you truly and deeply understand that you are not what is speaking inside you. What speaks inside you is certainly a certain idea about yourself. And when you start to observe it, it becomes gentle. It stops being rowdy, stops any negativity. All of this ceases because you see it with your mind. If you see it, it becomes more and more controllable, more and more conscious, more real, more manageable, and again, not controlled from the perspective of another dominant factor, but from the very essence of consciousness itself. Indeed, this is the only path inward. In the process of these meditative practices, you may notice that there are certain, let's say, specific blockages, particular internal dominants that do not dissolve, that continue to intensify and cause pain somewhere. Some problem worsens, some pain surfaces, some childhood trauma, something there I cannot forgive. There is something there, ta-ta-tam, I am not. This is reality. This is exactly what you cannot deal with. And here there are options. If it is an external influence, or an internal influence, ancestral or pre-ancestral. But in the end, if you ultimately manage to do this, increase the distance and do it without involving your consciousness in these important processes, well, you are growing. You continue to grow. That is, consciousness, without getting involved there. Attention is directed to the very essence of consciousness, and this increases it. It kind of, as if it multiplies, it somehow becomes more. Simply because you remain silent, say nothing, and look inside yourself at the source of your perception. The closer you get to the source, essentially, in essence, in reality, the I cannot look at itself, but consciousness can. And when you see this, yourself definitely entering, when you truly exit your own inner world, that will be truly fascinating. This will definitely give you the opportunity to see what is indeed real and what is not, where you are and where you are not. So, what volume, what sphere do you actually occupy? Are you actually on planet Earth, or can you go somewhere beyond? Go somewhere further. Where to? What is sunshine? There is an expansion of consciousness. It's more. Then it becomes clear. What does space have to do with it? Because you see this cosmos. That's the point. You start to see it. Then it becomes clear how some Taoist monks, who did not have telescopes, very accurately and specifically predicted and spoke about certain cosmic phenomena. How could they observe them when they didn't have this technique? But all these phenomena are reflected in the inner world. In the inner world, when this inner world is indeed truly properly attuned, this macrocosm exists within consciousness. It becomes clear where these forces of the planet come from, where these legends about deities and other possibilities, other interactions originate. That is, friends, expanding consciousness is not about intoxicating yourself with some kind of garbage that is being heavily pushed right now as the right way to do things. That's not the way to go. An internal, deep, proper process. That is, all these substances are synthesized by your mind. They are yours, indeed, truly genuine. They are not the same as if you were to consume something. Drugs will never become a true reflection of your inner world. This needs to be understood very clearly and very precisely. If you resort to drugs to expand consciousness and explore your inner world, then know that you will become an addict, and that's all. If you really want to study your inner world, be prepared for nothing to happen. And nothing happens, and you don't expect anything to happen. You just are, simply just. And then it will definitely unfold. As long as you are waiting for something to eventually unfold, it will not unfold. This is protection from those who have not worked through certain emotional connections, that is, have not cleansed themselves from dependencies, yes, desires. Naturally, they cannot expand consciousness or travel. With the help of chemicals, they will be able to. And, naturally, what he sees there in connection with his desires has nothing to do with real inner work. I don't know what else to say, friends. Let's close this topic. I'll put it simply. Meditate with us. I will genuinely and honestly tell you and clearly point out the problems that prevent you from accessing your inner space. If you reach the inner volume, this is the correct state. If you have achieved this correct state, stay in it, stick to it, and continue to work on yourself. Ultimately, true expansion of consciousness will come, and it will be yours, and no one will take it away, and no chemistry will affect it. Then you can confidently say, yes, I have knowledge. Yes, I know. I understand how it works and why it works this way. Everything else is nonsense and ramblings, friends, and I warn you, don't engage in foolishness. Meditate with us. See you at the retreats. Goodbye, everyone.